Meanwhile, our next guest wants to protect American soil. Literally. North Carolina lawmakers voting to block foreign countries from purchasing U.S. farmland. Joining us now, the North Carolina State Representative, Jennifer Balkcom. Thank you so much for joining us. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe from some of the reports I was reading that at least in the House, it did pass with unanimous support. Are you surprised that it wasn't contentious, that there is a clear crystal eye that this was the right thing to do?
Thank you for having me on the show. No, I was not surprised. I mean, the farming industry is one of our top contributors to North Carolina. Actually, it is the top contributor. So we understood both sides of the aisle how important this legislation was to North Carolina.
May I ask you, Representative, do you think that this is going to be a trend, not just in your state, but of other states taking action to try to safeguard themselves against the China threat because the administration and the federal government aren't taking that kind of action?
I believe you're going to see a lot more of this going on in other states. I believe Texas actually just passed it through their House as well. So I see a lot of states. And I've said this before, it's a tool in the toolbox, so other states can use that to protect their land as well.
I want to pick up on something Jackie just asked you. You know, you're taking these moves at the state level, and I understand why you're concerned about North Carolina farmland and who owns that. But we're talking about national security here, and national security is a federal issue. And so I would think actually would be the federal government that would be taking leadership if we have an adversary buying up our land. How has the federal government failed such that you're having to take these moves right now?
I feel like we have, I don't think we're doing anything about it on a federal level. There's not been anything to indicate such as you have seen from the administration. But I believe as a state, this is the capability we're able to do, and we've got to start somewhere.
It's about national security, I think, as Glenn Youngkin was mentioning in the soundbite that we used to come into you as well. It's about supply chain. It's securing that. It's also about food supply as well. What to you was the key issue? As I mentioned, maybe about 3 of those there.
So food and supply chain is huge. Currently, I grew up on a farm. I know how important that is to have. But if we don't have food, people are going to get hungry, and hungry people, as our commissioner says, get angry. So we're going to have to continue to find ways to protect our land so we do have a way of keeping our food supply chain safe.
Well, State Representative, we really appreciate you taking the time and breaking down sort of that bill for us. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you again. Y'all have a wonderful